Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, a member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com. Check out some of these other podcasts that you're listening to, or you might want to listen to, in fact. And don't forget to go to bigjujitsu.com. And don't forget, we're also doing our Show Your Roll giveaway. If you give a 5-star review on iTunes, we need 2 more and we're good to go. And we'll give away a Show Your Roll to one of our 5-star reviewers. I'm Rob, and I'm joined today by a very special guest. This man has helped out grapplers, especially myself, with his video series as well as grappling guides, Mr. Jason Scully. So how you doing, Jason?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate you reaching out.
Anytime, man. I'm really excited to have you on the show. When I started doing jiu-jitsu as a white belt, I was kind of looking for more videos or something to help supplement my training, and my buddy pointed me towards your videos. So I've been watching ever since. I really do appreciate all the videos you put out for jiu-jitsu and grappling.
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate that people enjoy the videos. I mean, when I first started making them, I didn't realize that they were actually going to get that popular. I know the most popular are the ones where I'm doing like tons of techniques within a short period of time. Those ended up going viral, and they still get shared all over the place, which is pretty cool. But it also helped me kind of expose people to just me teaching in general. So fortunately, I get a good amount of feedback on just the regular techniques that I teach as well. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say the sweeps video I think was one of the first ones I saw, sweeps from guard, and it was just like trying to drink from a fire hose. But what was good about it was that there were so many options. You could go back in YouTube, pause, move it back, hit play again, kind of see how you're doing it. So having all these options really helped my guard and really helped my sweep. So I think those videos are actually really beneficial to people in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, a lot of people find those videos beneficial. I mean, the first video I ever made was back in 2006. Somebody asked a question on a forum. I was a blue belt then, and I just posted a video on my closed guard, and it got hundreds of thousands of views, and it was just sitting there for a while. I was like the first one ever to do these videos where they were just tons of techniques within a short period of time. And I realized that it was doing very well, so then I just redid the video. And then that one ended up getting tons and tons of views. So I was like, all right, I might as well just make a new video on all different topics. And I had that little disclaimer on the front just for the random people who are like, oh, I can't learn from this. You're going too fast and yada, yada, yada. Because basically the premise is, even if you're new, you'll get some quick ideas. It'll give you a quick rundown of like, oh my goodness, I could do all these things. Like, this is the potential for me to be able to do all these things. Or if you have experience, you could watch a video in 5 minutes and be like, oh, wait a second, I forgot that I can do that. Or I forgot that I can do this. Or that's something similar to what I do. Maybe I should try to do that as well.
And it helped out a lot, and people, like you said, you're one of the first people to do it, and that kind of cemented you there. But what started you in jiu-jitsu? How did you get started in grappling?
Honestly, I always wanted to be a ninja. It was my life goal as a kid to be a ninja. I would go to the library in elementary school and take out karate books and learn every single move in the book. I would just study everything, and then I took judo I took some karate very briefly. I took some judo very briefly when I was younger. And the reason why I stopped doing those things is because my parents didn't want to pay for it anymore. I liked doing it, but they just didn't want to take me to it anymore. And then I got old enough, basically I was 19 years old. I was like, all right, I got my own job. I can pay, I have a car. I can pretty much do whatever I want now. And then just when a little after I turned 20 is when I really started making the decision to just do a martial art. The first thing I took when I decided to pay for myself in regards to doing martial arts, I took ninjutsu, because I like straight up I want to be a ninja.
Right.
So I googled ninjutsu on the internet. This was back in 2001, and I went to a local school that advertised ninjutsu, and I took a ninjutsu class. I swear to this day, if they would have started me off with like nunchucks or like a badass sword or something, I would be a ninja today. But they started me off with like striking, and I have 5 brothers, and I was constantly like fighting with one of my brothers, and where we were at the bus stop, and I had to box with him, and like I had to box with him. It was either box with him or get boxed. So when I took this ninjutsu class, they were standing in such a way where I was just like, I would never stand like this, and it just completely turned me off from like being like a real life ninja at that moment. So then I went home. I went on the computer and I Googled the best martial art ever created. Like normally,
That's pretty.
normally you hear people say that they watch the UFCs and that got them motivated, like Royce Gracie and so on and so forth. I did watch the first few UFCs, but I had no idea it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was 13 years old at the time. I had no idea it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just knew this guy was beating up all these guys, and I just didn't even know. So then I was 20 years old. 7 years later, I Googled best martial art ever created, and then this one school came up, and it pretty much said that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu was the best martial art ever created. So then the next day, I went to, it was basically one of the few schools in New Jersey, because I live in New Jersey, and when I started back then, there really wasn't anybody around. And the school happened to be about 20 minutes away from me. Oh, wow. I went there, I took a jiu-jitsu class, and I wrestled at the time too. So I was like, oh cool, this is like wrestling, but you get to choke the person and like do all these different things. First submission I ever got caught with was a cross collar choke. I had a loner gi, first class, and I asked the guy, I was like, you're allowed to do that? Like I thought he was cheating. I thought he was like basically like cheating and taking advantage of the new guy. And then from then on, I just kept training. I signed up that day. It was February 19th, 2001. I remember the exact day that I started training.
Damn, and here we are, 15 years later, and you're killing it. You're still training. Do you run your own academy, or what do you do?
I ran my own gym for 10 years. About 10 years. It was doing well. Everything was going good, and then I started doing extremely well on the internet with all this internet stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe I should make a little shift in life. Maybe I should try it out, see what it's like actually not having to go to a physical location and not having to run a business that I had to be at like day in and day out. So I basically took advantage of the opportunity that was given to me based off of becoming, I guess, popular on the internet. And I sold my gym to somebody who was one of my students. I actually still train there. I go there and train all the time. He's a black belt now. We have other people who are probably going to get black belt soon. Training's super good. That's where I film all my videos. If you ever watch the videos and you see the wood background,
yeah,
that was my old gym, and I sold that, and I still go there and I train. And I didn't teach for a while at a location, but I just started teaching 2 days a week, just because it's something I miss doing. I miss teaching an actual class, so now I teach twice a week.
That's not a bad deal. Going back to when you originally started, like, you said there weren't a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu schools back then, and I guess it was especially rare to have one just 20 minutes away from your house in the beginning. Like, I know 2001, there wasn't a lot going on at that time as far as Jiu-Jitsu on the East Coast especially.
Yeah, I lucked out. I mean, honestly, I lucked out the fact that it was a good distance from me. Like, meaning, like, all I had to do was just drive 20 minutes, and I was there. I was only at that gym for about a year and a half. Obviously, sometimes you're somewhere for a little while and you realize it's not a good fit. And then I found somebody else an hour away. I started training with Edson Carvalho, and he's super good at judo and jiu-jitsu. He got me really realizing the importance of doing judo as well. And he ended up being an hour and 20 minutes away. So I decided to stop training 20 minutes away and start training an hour and 20 minutes away, just so I can get better training.
So that isn't, a lot of people frown upon stuff like that. I don't know if it's necessarily a lot of people, but do you, like you said, you feel like if it's not a good fit, it's okay to move gyms, right?
Yeah, if it's not a good fit, then it's okay to move. I don't, you hear a lot about the whole loyalty thing. Like, people are unloyal. They should respect the place they started at. They should respect the instructor. And I believe you should respect the instructor as a person. They're an individual. But it doesn't matter if they have a black belt or if they have a purple belt or anything. They're still people, in my opinion. And I'm sure you've seen people who are black belts do some pretty shady stuff. Let them
Absolutely.
get arrested or something along. Just because someone has a black belt doesn't mean they're a perfect role model. So, in my opinion, if you're somewhere and you realize it's not a good fit for you, it could be it's just not your personalities don't match, or you feel like you're not improving in your jujitsu, you're not getting along with a certain amount of people at the gym, or distance, or whatever. I mean, in the long run, in the beginning, you're paying for a service. You know, most instructors, they care about the fact that you're paying for a service. Once you've been there for years and years and years. So let's say somebody is teaching somebody, and they've been training under them for 6 years. Usually to the point where like they might not even be paying as much. They're helping with classes and so on and so forth. And then the person leaves just for no apparent reason. They just leave and they don't give even an explanation, then I believe that's disrespectful. I don't believe that the person has to stay, and I don't really believe that they're being disloyal per se, because they are their own individual and nobody owns somebody else. This isn't slavery, you know, and it's not like a cult or anything. But I do believe you need to respect another person as an individual. So if I was training somewhere and I had a decent relationship, but I felt like the training wasn't on par to where I needed to be, and there was someplace else where I felt that I could possibly get that extra training, then I would talk to my coach that I'm with, or my training partners. I let them know, like, hey, this is a decision in life that I plan on making. It's up to them as individuals to decide whether they agree with it or not, but it's still not going to affect my decision to do anything else. I mean, when I ran a gym, I was like the United Nations of jiu-jitsu. Like, I didn't care. People from anywhere down the street, it didn't matter. They could have came and trained at my gym. They had no obligation to sign up. We can compete against each other. It doesn't matter, because the way I felt is if we have better jiu-jitsu, then we have better jiu-jitsu. That's just, that's just the way it is. We can train together every once in a while, but if my guys are better, my guys are better. So even when it came to tournaments, it really didn't matter to me. People can represent the way they represented. And it worked out for me when I was running a gym, because other people were checking out other places, but because of the attitude that I had and the culture that was created at the gym, they trained at other places, but the gym that I had, it was like their home. So they explored, they got to train with different people, but they knew where their home was, and it was because of their own choice, and it was because they liked it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, because that's real interesting to me, because I've run and I've been burnt by black belts before. It's just kind of interesting how people do take it as, like you said, respect the person, but that doesn't make them a saint. You know what I mean? With I've had black belts run out on me, like the gym, like just up and leave, be like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm not teaching anymore. Oh, and the gym is 3 months behind in rent, so good luck. And then just bad situations in general, but for, like you're saying, just if people just come in and train and have a good time, like that's the most important part. It's not a cult. And you'll see some of these black belts who have they have kind of less than stellar reputations for trying to run that cult mentality in their gym.
Exactly. I mean, respect is a two-way street. It goes both ways. Like, just because somebody's been doing a martial art for however long doesn't mean they have better life experiences than another individual. It doesn't mean that they're, this guru in life and they can tell you what to do. I mean, I've been to places where, people try to dictate what you can and cannot do, who you can and cannot train with. And to me, that's just a show of disrespect. That's just my particular opinion. The way I see it is, if you are good to people and you have good training and people are getting better, then they're not going to want to leave anyway. I believed in a strong training environment. I do believe that people need to learn jiu-jitsu, and they need to they should have the ability to train in an environment that meets their particular goals. So if I have somebody that's maybe 35, brand new at jiu-jitsu, never wrestled, never did judo or anything like that, I give them the opportunity to improve at a good pace, set them up for success. But then if I have somebody else who's also been training for 6 years and they compete, I can give them the environment to grind and train hard and work. And then eventually get to the point where, as people improve and get better and better, everyone is just getting better. So I believe it's important to have a good environment, something that people feel comfortable in, but still give them like awesome training, so they can improve.
So kind of like the whole jujitsu for everybody type mentality, going in and letting anybody train regardless of what their goals are.
Well, yeah, unless you're trying to, especially if you're running jujitsu as a business, if you're funneling a particular type of individual, and you don't, let's say for example, you want a competitive school and you just want competitors, unless you're in the city, in my opinion, it's going to be hard to make good income and have your gym survive and you solely live off of jiu-jitsu if you're just focused on competitors and grinding and so on and so forth, because most people don't compete. Most people aren't into that. You can have individuals who aren't very athletic, but they can get good at jiu-jitsu. They can become very good training partners, but you're not treating them the same as competitors. I do believe that competitors and non-competitors, they do and should also get treated differently in regards to their training. But I also believe that you can accommodate all different types of individuals when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
So do you take that into mind when you make these videos, though, for just for anybody to kind of pick up and learn something?
Yeah, well, my response for me making the videos is my responsibility, especially for the YouTube videos, isn't to say, okay, here's a video and this is for so-and-so, whatever. Like, I make the videos and it's up to the individual in the long run to decide whether it's something they want to add to their game, especially because I don't know them. I don't see them. I can't see what they do or how they train or what their body type is like, if they're a man or a woman or so on and so forth. So I can't say, yes, this is perfect for you. So when I put things on YouTube and I give, especially the fast videos, but lots of techniques, and I give a big general idea of what to do, the goal is, hey, these are things that exist. So if you like it, try it. And if you feel like it's something that can be added to your game, then add it to your game. Or if you're curious about it and you're not sure, ask your instructor about it, and then maybe they can give you more information. Your instructor might tell you, hey, this isn't good for you. Or your instructor might say, hey, okay, you try this out. If it works out for you, add it to your game. Or they might love it. And so because of the fact that I don't have the ability to stand in front of each individual person, there's not a particular goal for me in regards to the videos as a whole. Now, I might make a video that's related to competition, and I say, hey, this is for competitors. Or I might post a video and I say everyone should do this, because there are particular concepts that I believe every single person should know, regardless of their attributes or their skill level or so on and so forth. And that's what I consider to be fundamental jiu-jitsu, or some things that I call advanced fundamentals. But I'll usually preface that, or I'll mention it in the video specifically that this is for this specific situation, and you should and shouldn't be doing it during this time. Now, if I show somebody like a berimbolo, for example, not everybody is made to do a berimbolo. So the assumption is that not each individual in the entire world is going to successfully do a berimbolo. So they have to make that particular decision for themselves, whether they can physically do it, because not everybody can invert well. Not everybody has that ability to move like that. Not everybody has the coordination or so on and so, and some people do. So in general, the videos are to plant ideas out there, let people experiment with them, and then use their training partners and their coaches to help them decide whether it's something to add to their game. Now, when it comes to the Grappler's Guide, the membership site that I have, sometimes it's a little bit different, because sometimes I have people ask me specific questions, and what I do is I ask them to film videos of them rolling. So when I see them rolling now I can give them specific advice. So I'll have what's called critique week, and I say, okay, if a certain amount of people within a certain amount of time submit their videos before critique week starts, then I'll be able to critique their training and their rolling, whether it's a competition or they're drilling a technique. Then I'll watch those videos. I'll put their videos on my computer, and then I'll use screen capture software where I can highlight over them. and I'll talk about certain things that they should be doing based on exactly what they're doing now. So it's almost like they're getting a private lesson online, and then I'll send them probably about anywhere from 8 to 15 links of videos related to things that I talked about, so I can help them specifically. So it's all dependent on the platform. YouTube is just for super general stuff. I get a little bit more specific on my website sometimes, though.
So the concept that you're doing with the Grappler's Guide is really interesting. I know there's been a lot of flack, especially talking with like online promotion. I don't think you're promoting people online, but what do you feel like the differences are from some of these online academies? Like, oh, here's your blue belt, congratulations for being online, to what you're doing? Is it just specifically for each person with their membership?
Well, it's not specifically for each person. As far as online promotions, I don't agree with them at all. I don't think it's possible to promote someone successfully online without seeing them and or feeling what they do. And the reason why I say or feeling that what they do is because each instructor is different. You might have an instructor that's 75 years old. You know, they're a black belt in jiu-jitsu. They might have been a black belt for 40 years, but they're physically not good enough to roll with people anymore. So you might need to rely on seeing individual. But you do need to, I think you need to see them like in person to promote somebody, whether it's a blue belt, a purple belt, or anything else. Like I personally don't agree with the whole online thing. Most of the time it's just a cash grab, people just trying to get some money for promoting somebody online. The way that I do it on my website, it's not just individual. I do a lot of special things on my site. There's thousands of members on my site, which is pretty awesome considering like I'm not a world champion. You know, I'm not Marcelo Garcia or the Mendes brothers or Cobrinha or anybody like that. I'm just Joe Schmo Jiu-Jitsu. You know, I've just been doing Jiu-Jitsu for 15 years. I mean, fortunately, I love teaching Jiu-Jitsu, and I study the art of teaching as well, and I try to put that into my website. It's literally an encyclopedia of Jiu-Jitsu. When you go on there, you will not find any other site that has the diverse amount of content on there. Like, I'm not even saying it just because I'm biased. I'm saying it because I put so much work into it. And what makes it basically seem individualized is the community. It has more of a community aspect than any other online site I've ever seen. Because it almost has like a forum aspect. When you go on a forum, people are always asking questions, other people answer questions, and so on and so forth. That's what happens on my site as well. I answer people's questions. We have lots of black belts on there who are paid members. They were already black belts, or I have members who've been members as white belts and are now black belts, and they're still members of my website. And we have different things that we do. Like, I'll have certain assignments, I'll have contests, I have critique weeks, I have surprise things that I do for people. And for the small amount of people who want to take advantage of those individual things, in my opinion, it really helps them out. Like, for example, when I do the critique weeks, you know, people are like, they can't believe the amount of detail that I go over things. Somebody gives me a 5-minute video and I spend upwards of 40 to 50 minutes critiquing their whole entire video, and I send it back to them. I say, here, this is what I got for you, and then they watch it, and then hopefully it helps them within their game. But there's many aspects to the site in regards to other sites. Other sites are mainly just video sites. Like, you just go on, you watch videos. Grappler's Guide's a little bit different. It
sounds interesting, like really, really interesting to me, and I think you actually might have convinced me to get on it. But something that I wanted to ask about too is you talked about you had black belts on this site that are interested, you know, in what you have to say and learning as well. How do you feel about? I've heard conflicting things like going to a black belt going to a black belt seminar as a black belt is either like a good thing because it shows that you're humble, or it's like you're not really a black belt. Like, I don't agree with that one, but I'm just kind of curious to see with like what your view is on it.
Well, my opinion is, regardless of your belt color, you should be a student of jiu-jitsu. It doesn't matter. My belt is. Have you ever heard the old Hoist Gracie quote? You know, basically the belt just covers 2 inches of your ass, or like it's the belt is just meant to keep your gi closed.
Yeah.
That is what I believe in. You know, I've been a black belt for over 6 years now, which would technically make me a second-degree black belt. Nobody's ever given me my stripes, but I would be allotted for that privilege of being a second-degree black belt. So, you know, I've been a black belt for a little bit now, but I will gladly learn from anybody. It doesn't matter. Now, I might make a decision in my mind whether it's something that I agree with, or it's something that I might have a different perspective in, but I will listen with an open mind. I've had blue belts and purple belts teach me things even now, or plant ideas in my brain where I'm like, hey, I'm like, wow, I didn't think of that. Maybe this is something that I can do off of the idea that you gave me. And I'll go to seminars and I'll learn from anybody. It doesn't really matter. And I respect the people who have the same opinion. You know, you do have individuals who kind of have like a holier than thou attitude, or they have an attitude where they feel like they don't need to learn anything else from anybody else, regardless of their rank. But that's not how I am. I'll go anywhere. I'll learn from anybody. It doesn't really matter. And at the same time, it creates a good community for me. I develop new friends and respect for other people. Unfortunately, it seems like people respect me back because I don't act like a douchebag, you know?
Yeah. I think that's something that has actually drawn a lot of people to you as well. Like, you are very approachable, especially online with grappling. Like, you know, posted in Reddit, posted online. Like, it's something that does make a difference. And, you know, I'm glad that there are people out there who, like you said, don't have that holier than thou attitude when they're dealing with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community.
Yeah, exactly. And I have the same attitude in person that I do online. I mean, the whole online world is a different world in general. So many people are different in person than the way they are in their online persona. But I'm exactly how I am in person as I am online. So I'm very transparent online. I'm very transparent in person. So when I'm at tournaments and somebody comes up to me and says hi, I say what's up to them. I talk to them. And for me, it's a humbling experience as well because, like I said, I'm just this Joe Schmo individual, and I have jiu-jitsu people that I've never met in person asking to take pictures with me, and I'm like, whoa, like this is just weird because even though I've been doing this for years and years, and I've been on YouTube for a long time now, it's still a very surreal situation for me, and a humbling thing that like people that I don't know come up to me and want to take pictures or want to say hi or say, hey, like this move I learned from you online works for me all the time. And that's pretty awesome. It gives me the motivation to do this stuff even more and to keep going on with what I'm doing. Because, I mean, I'm fortunate. I get messages all the time on Facebook and email and through my Grappler's Guide site and in person from people saying, hey, something you taught online, I'm able to use in my training. And that's just proof that you can learn stuff online. You know, if somebody does the best they can to relay the information, you can help other individuals through the internet. And it's freaking awesome.
No, and it's been a big benefit. Like, you know, I have you like kind of captive audience right now, and I'm saying a lot of the stuff you showed has helped me in my grappling. Like a lot of those half guard sweeps you showed, like one of my favorites, like the roll from like an omoplata as well. I use that all the time. So
yeah, it used to be one of my favorite ones. I hit that in the World Championships at brown belt. I submitted somebody. I think there's a highlight video of me doing it somewhere on YouTube.
No, it's a great move, and like the way it goes down for me, because it was one of the first ones I saw of you. I was like, wow, that looks pretty cool. I should try that in class, and I'm still hitting it. I'm still doing it. It's a great move.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome for me to hear. Like, you know, I've had people come and join the gym that I train at, and they've had previous experience, and they're like, oh man, like, dude, like I hit this move that you taught on YouTube all the time, and for me to hear that, it makes me feel good because I truly like teaching jiu-jitsu. And I just like teaching in general. So it solidifies the fact that I'm possibly doing something right to relay information over this whole internet world and help people regardless of their location.
So being an online personality, especially in the jiu-jitsu community, have you gotten any like weird stalkers or like any super fans or anything like that?
No.
That's good.
No. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I haven't gotten any stalkers. There's nobody like, peeping through my windows with binoculars or or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
That's when I made it to real superstardom.
When you got people camped out outside your house, like Jason, come out! I made you this gi
Yeah,
out of my hair or something weird like
yeah,
that.
they're camped out like they would be like at Best Buy waiting for an iPhone.
I think you'll get that. Well, hopefully not, because that's fucking creepy. But
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like, I'm really interested in jumping on there and getting to see this community. And as far as that goes, how was the trans? I know you said that you missed teaching in person, so you do it 2 days a week. So was there like a stagnant period, or like a oh shit, I'm actually doing this period between going from teaching in person, from like selling your gym and trying to do the online thing?
Well, it was kind of like a scary moment. Anytime you make a big decision in life, it's a little scary at times. But I believe that's also what tests somebody's character on making that decision and still going through it. So I was comfortable running a gym. It's what I knew for almost 10 years. So then I made the decision like, okay, I'm not going to run a gym anymore. So I started like inside, you freak out a little bit, but then you calm yourself down, and then you go from there. I mean, fortunately, it ended up being a good decision. The transition was a little different. I was a little heartbroken inside because, I invested a lot in the students that I worked with, and when you invest any time in anything and you decide to move on and let it go, people don't like change. So to force yourself to change, it's harder than a lot of individuals think. So I was able to do that, and fortunately, because I continued in the field of grappling and jiu-jitsu, I was still able to get my teaching fix in. So I was filming, or I still film, 1 to 2 days a week, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours at a clip. So since I was filming in front of the camera, and I was posting videos on my website, or I was posting videos on YouTube or somewhere else, it was helping me get like my teaching fix. But the difference is I wasn't doing it in person, so I wasn't able to give that immediate feedback or see like those immediate results right away. And sometimes it's nice to see that. So I started teaching some seminars. I taught seminars in Italy, and I taught seminars at TriStar in Montreal, and like different places in the U.S. So that helped me get my fix in regards to teaching as well. So the transition on the beginning was a little difficult. It wasn't as bad as transitioning to other things in life, because I was still doing jiu-jitsu and I was still teaching it. And it basically gave me time to film lots and lots of videos. I'm the only membership site for grappling that doesn't run a gym. Everybody else runs their own gym. Marcelo Garcia runs his own gym. Mendez brothers run their own gym. Salo, Eddie Bravo, Cobrinha, they all run their own academies. This is all I do, is online. My academy is grapplersguide.com, basically.
Nice. Well, it's definitely working out then. So before we head out, Jason, can you give us where we can find you, shout outs, anybody you want to give a mention to?
You can find me on Facebook. Basically, you just search my name, Jason Scully. I have a personal fan page, and I have a profile page. Profile pages tend to get more reach than the fan pages nowadays. I also have a fan page, Grappler's Guide, as well. My website is grapplersguide.com. In Red Bank, New Jersey, in regards to teaching, I teach at Garden State Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's centraljerseybjj.com as well. People can search for me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm all over social media. Basically, if you have Facebook and you do jiu-jitsu, chances are you will see me somewhere, because I stalk you. I'm sure you've been on Facebook and you've seen my videos floating around. It's not on accident.
It's because he's stalking you.
Yes, exactly. Just as we were talking about other people stalking me, I'm really stalking everybody.
I think you're the first internet personality then to reverse stalk people to get more followers.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Fucking genius. That is amazing.
I'm just setting new boundaries here and there.
Well, Jason, we really do appreciate you coming on the show. Definitely a lot of insight, definitely a lot of good advice, and it's fun. It's awesome to have, amazing people like yourself on our show.
I appreciate you having me. It's always a good time doing things like this, and hit me up again. We could do it sometime in the future.
Absolutely. Oh, we'd love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Go to podbros.com and just find us on there. Don't listen to anybody else. And don't forget to go to bigjujitsu.com. Also remember, iTunes reviews, 5 stars. We're going to be doing that giveaway here pretty soon. And I'm Rob. We'll catch you all next time.